The rain tapped quietly against the window, and the night seemed endless. Inside a small cafe in Edinburgh, a young woman sat alone, wrapped in a worn coat, staring at a notebook filled with scribbled sentences. Her name was Joanne Rowling, but the world would one day know her as J.K. Rowling, one of the most successful authors in history. But at that moment, success seemed like a distant dream. Rowling was born on July 31, 1965, in a modest town in southwest England. As a child, she showed a deep love for stories, spending hours imagining worlds far beyond her own. She went on to study French and classics at the University of Exeter, where her passion for literature grew deeper. But nothing in her early life prepared her for the long road ahead. In the early 1990s, while riding a delayed train from Manchester to London, Joanna experienced a moment that would change her life forever. In her mind, she saw the image of a young boy with glasses, living with relatives who didn't understand him, a boy who discovers he is a wizard. The idea was clear, but she didn't have a pen to write it down. She held on to that image, determined to build a story around it later. Life, however, wasn't easy. She moved to Portugal to teach English, married, and had a daughter named Jessica. But the marriage didn't last, and soon she found herself back in the UK, a single mother, struggling to make ends meet. She survived on government assistance, raising her daughter and working tirelessly on her book in the quiet corners of cafes, her eyes shifting between the pages and the sleeping figure beside her. When she finally completed her manuscript, titled Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, in 1995, she sent it out to publishers full of hope. 1, 2, 3, 12 rejections. Each reply was a polite but firm refusal. Too long, lacks market appeal, unlikely to succeed. For many authors, this would have been the end. But Rowling didn't give up. Instead, she used each rejection as fuel, refining her writing, sharpening her ideas, and keeping her dream alive. Eventually, a small London publishing house called Bloomsbury agreed to take a chance on her book. They printed a small first run, only 1,000 copies. The world barely noticed at first. But children and readers soon began to discover the story of the lonely boy wizard, and excitement started to build. Harry Potter became more than a book. It became a cultural phenomenon. Translated into over 80 languages and selling millions of copies worldwide, the series captured the hearts of readers of all ages. Blockbuster films followed, theme parks were built, and generations grew up knowing the magic of Hogwarts and its heroes. Rowling's life changed dramatically. She went from struggling as a single mother living on welfare to becoming one of the wealthiest and most influential authors on the planet. But she never forgot where she came from. She became a generous philanthropist, donating millions to charity, especially causes that support children, poverty relief, and education. What makes Rowling's story remarkable is not just the success, but the journey, the countless obstacles, the rejections, the moments of self-doubt, and the incredible resilience she showed in the face of adversity. Her story teaches us that failure is not the opposite of success, but part of the path toward it. The world will always remember J.K. Rowling, not just for the books she wrote, but for the perseverance she embodied. In her own words, "It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all." And perhaps that is the true magic she gave the world, the unshakable belief that dreams can come true if you refuse to let the journey break you. Even after worldwide fame, Rowling faced pressure, criticism, and the fear of never matching her past success. Still, she kept writing, exploring new ideas, and even publishing under different names. For her, storytelling was never just about money or popularity. It was a way to survive, to heal, and to give meaning to pain. Her journey proves that true success isn't reaching the top. It's having the courage to keep creating even after you get there.